As is many things. Bro, we've come into this song like 7 times.
I don't know what to talk about.
It's like 6 too many.
It's the 25th anniversary
return
of this
3
album.
times.
Yes, you can. Return every year you want. Shut the fuck up while he's crooning.
But I guess you didn't know. As I said, the story goes. Baby, now I got the flow. Cause I know it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I win.
Alright. We're gonna get sued now.
Definitely.
What's up, world? It's the football podcast you love to hate. Touchdowns and tangents, live from the Good News Sports Studio in Hawthorne, California. Live and topical. And yeah, Kenny, I don't know. I guess we're washed now. You can't pick up my sentences anymore.
Nah, I was just waiting for you to finish and get out the way. So I can say shout out to X Squad affiliates, Good News Radio, Good News Sports. Make sure you download the apps. Follow us. We're really the only organic group of people out here actually holding it down for the culture. Like, shout out to Good News Sports.
The culture of football. Good News Radio.
Yep, and this podcast and everyone who supports it. So, yeah.
It's been a crazy week this week.
It's been a shit show.
I don't know what's going on with the universe, but...
is Mercury retrograde? Is Mercury smoking crack again? Did it relapse on retrograde? I need to know. I have things I'm going through. It's probably heroin. It's probably lean. Lean literally is heroin. But yeah, shout out to Mark Morrison returning the Mac. Today's the 25th anniversary of that song. And one of the greatest ever.
Really? Like, in terms of sports intro songs, is that like one of the best?
It's the best post game song to play.
Like general? Like, it's one of the general best, song you can play?
It's one of the best post game songs you can play after a win.
All right. So, yeah, in case you've been living under a rock, NFL free agency has been going on. I've been sharing a lot about it on the @TDs_tangents, Twitter and Instagram. But, yeah, it's been a crazy week. Free agency opened on Monday. So that means essentially players' deals expired and they could officially begin negotiating with other teams. Now, from Monday to Wednesday, it's technically called tampering, in such that the players cannot actually sign a deal until the new league begins on Wednesday, which was yesterday or a few days ago, depending on if you're listening to this on demand or not. Point is, though, it was a really weird free agency, I feel like, too. Like, a lot of people took short-term deals because of the uncertainty with the league, the new TV contracts looming, which they just wrapped up today as well. Kenny can talk a little bit more about that. That was also on the Instagram. So, but yeah, it was a crazy week. A lot of players took one-year deals. Some players got paid, who I was like, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, that dude got paid, people got released, people got traded, and it all happened in a few days.
A lot more trades than usual, and cats getting traded for like draft picks that should be higher than what their ability is. Like when the Arizona Cardinals stole Rodney Hudson for a 3rd round pick.
I mean, before we get into the weeds of free agency, I was talking about this with Mikhail and the guys from Courtside before we went on live, and even Eric a little bit. I feel like, did maybe sports come back too fast, or did maybe they not give us a big enough break? Because I feel like after COVID, everything just came back right away, really fast, and then they didn't want to throw off the next year, so then they took shorter than usual breaks, and now it's like everything's going. Like, I'm not keeping up with my NBA stuff. I'm over here following the trade deadline and the free agency at the same time. Like, usually by now, like, the trade deadline's already over. Like, you're locked into the NBA, trying to see what teams are trying to make a playoff push. And now it's still like but the season's been going and it's wrapping up. It's just like a weird year in the NBA, especially because they didn't get long enough break. But I feel like that's having a ripple effect on all sports, and it just feels like, it's going by so fast.
Like, people's pro days are... Like, we see them as dates on the calendar, but for some of these people, for most of the athletes, like, this is it. They might not... They probably would have got drafted in different circumstances.
Like, even right now, like, high school football going on. Some seniors are playing. Some seniors aren't playing. It's
the ranking systems are kind of like the haves and have-nots. Shout out to Connor Morissette.
Yeah, it's just a crazy time right now, I feel like, for sure. Especially in the sports world.
Like, the combine not being a thing, kind of...
It's also, like, throws off, like, a big tent pole. Like, that's something that's reliable, kind of lets you know where you are on the floor of life, to use a metaphor, but like to be in March and not be watching the combine, or at least following it, seeing all the things. Even now, like, I'm seeing this pro day stuff and I'm like, I'm not used to really seeing pro day stuff like that. Usually it's more internal, scouting sort of thing. Maybe you see stuff after the fact.
Yeah.
But like now feels like they're trying to make them live events, like
Stanford and Auburn's pro day was today. I'm actually surprised that Stanford having all that speed and athleticism up there, because they're not known for their receivers. But one of their receivers ran like a 4.39 and a 4.37. Paulson Adobo ran for a pretty good 40 time. David Sills ran like a 4.6. So I was kind of shocked. Like, Stanford's like, oh, it just sucks that like all these athletes, if there wasn't COVID, some of them probably would have just stayed in college. Because I know like a couple, like one dude, Paris Ford for Pittsburgh, had a terrible pro day. He's like a safety who played some corner, but he's a safety, and he ran like a 4.9. But Georgia, yeah, he's a safety. Wow. He played some corner.
Well, we could talk more about that. A little bit later,
like I feel like people's body clocks are off.
Yeah, definitely.
Like for how they're supposed to handle this. Like, that's why I feel so bad for the high school kids, because it's just a patchwork.
That's true. That's true.
It's like a COVID hangover. It's just like everybody's rushing back to normalcy, and you still got to realize it's just not normal still, and hopefully. Things are still going to be adjusted to this year, and hopefully, even in the LA market, that we have fans back in the stadiums and stuff. But it's just not a guarantee. But things are shaping up to get there, but it's still getting there. I think people want to just be there.
Well, the California Department of Public Health released further details on holding games, and essentially barred bands, color guards, cheerleaders from attending. So I know in Riverside, I think Riverside King, they're actually having a big rally with a bunch of the cheerleaders in the area, trying to raise awareness about that. But just overall, like, even college basketball, that's going on. I haven't touched a bracket. Even people I know that usually are in 3 or 4 brackets, they're maybe in 1.
Duke and Kentucky aren't even in it this year, which says a lot about what the shape of the future of their programs. It's over for the Blue Bloods when you can't get the top talent, because that's clearly the only way.
But my point is, it's like you said, the body clocks are just off. It's a weird time. All throughout sports, each and every level.
Yeah, and you're starting to. Like, think about college right now. Like, in the SEC, they were talking about going back to full capacity next season. Like, it's not like, no, we're not doing this shit again. Like, we're definitely going full capacity. We're going full go. Did you see what Alabama did? We're going full go. And then other schools are trying to follow that league, but then, like, JUCO's decimated. Like, have y'all seen Last Chance U basketball, East LA College? It'll make you cry. Like, you got to watch that, Pete. Like, for sure. Like, the fact that he's like the coach Mosley, he's like, man, if he just wins a championship, he's this close. He doesn't want to be known as the guy who just can get you to the playoffs but can't win a big one. And he's like one of the greatest players in the school history. And they're this close to winning a championship, and COVID happens, and then all the JUCO sports get wiped out. The South Coast Conference, which is mostly like El Camino, Harbor, East LA, all these, LA JUCOs, they've wiped out 2 years in a row. Like, what do you do? What do you tell those guys? What do you tell those young ladies who can't play softball, soccer? Like,
it's like you said, football. The haves and the have-nots.
Everything's shut down for JUCO. Like, what do you tell? What do you tell these kids? Like, what do you tell them to train for and work towards? Like, they don't get another year of eligibility. Like, how does that even work? Like, don't worry, we're gonna have some JUCO representation on this podcast. It's about time. But like, it's crazy to think about. Like, think about the cats, just the athletes who want to apply for the supplemental draft. Yeah. But they got their scholarship revoked or whatever, coming from a JUCO because a bunch of seniors came back. So now they don't have enough numbers. So now they're just stuck. It's a very tragic situation, and a lot of people's lives are like. A lot of people who don't have it all figured out in life, they lean on colleges, especially like athletes, whatever. They lean on certain things to figure that. Well, they have time to figure their lives out, and when you're being handicapped in your early teens and 20s. Most people aren't going to economically recover by their 30s. And then society will see them as failures by the time they hit 40. But it's like, bro, I had everything taken away from me at the height of my youth and told to start over. And told, oh, no, you're just going to have to wait. You're screwed, but the two people behind you, they're okay. They'll recover. You won't. And then we'll look at you as a failure. Like, that's some wild shit. And I think about that. Like, think about how blessed we are. Like, I graduated college 2019. COVID happened the next year. Imagine if I didn't get to walk across the stage and graduate. How much of a fucking serial killer would I have become? I would have lost it. I would have completely, utterly lost it. So like, and I know people who graduated and didn't even get that chance to walk, get the recognition, any of that.
Yeah, my sister is a senior at my former high school. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I think they are opening up.
Yeah, I know USC is going to let the 2020 class walk at the 2020 commencement in the Coliseum.
But they're probably only going to have like 2 people there per kid, if that, instead of 8 or whatever 10 they usually have. So,
and like, gym's open back up. I know this is open forum, so this kind of counts. I went back to my gym this week, got my little sister, a membership, and we're going now. But we have to work out with the mask on, which is fucking stupid. But like, I have to do it.
You get used to it.
No, I got a better mask. I got a mask with a filter, but still, it's like I shouldn't be working out with the mask on. That kind of defeats the purpose.
Bro, you got to get a Bane mask. You can't be walking around with that little fucking filter, bro. It better not be one of those little tiny sticks, bro. You're too damn big.
It looks like a big ass fan.
And does that shit go around your whole chin, bro?
It's a Velcro strap.
But does it go around your whole chin?
Yeah, but I can't put
put it all the way around like your cheeks.
Fuck you, it does.
Like, I can't put it over shit better not be sitting on there crooked, bro.
Bro, I can't put it over my ear.
That shit better not be looking like no fucking granny panties on your face, dog.
That's disgusting. Like I got caught running through somebody's clothesline.
Like 2 small granny panties. Like,
I tried to I was like, damn, I got a
fucking soggy diaper, bro.
You know, like when you realize you have
leaking.
When you realize you have a fat neck and the back of your neck is fat is when you have like the Velcro straps. Like I had to tie the Velcro straps behind my head, and I had to ask my sister for help. I was like, wait, hold on, am I putting this mask on wrong? And then I shifted it, and I was like, Yeah, I still got a big ass head because these straps barely got around. So I mean, it's like, yo,